Hi, hello, welcome back. We are going to be doing a writing vlog today, but it's gonna be less of a writing vlog and more of an organizing all of my writing projects kind of vlog, because that's where I am right now with all of my projects. Like, I'm still kind of in this spot where I don't feel like any of them are really at the place where I want to continue drafting and really like dive headfirst into the drafting process. And I'm going to talk about it later in the vlog as well, but I've also found that lately I kind of just like, I don't know, working on one project has been kind of tough for me lately. I prefer to work on more than one project because I just enjoy the variety, and I enjoy like switching over to another project when one becomes difficult or when I feel like I'm stuck on one. I find that like swapping over to another project becomes just so much more helpful for me. So because of that, I suppose that the first official update is that I am fully rebelling now. The intention was initially to mostly focus on Project Geo, and I had a lot planned out for it and I had a lot kind of ready to go, but things have changed. Which always happens, things change, life causes you to shift, and you kind of just got to go with the flow. So right now we're at the point where I am going to completely rebel. I have changed the title of my NaNoWriMo project already to be Project Geo, as well as Between the Waves, as well as kind of like all of my current writing, just because there's also poetry that's included. And honestly, again, I'll get into it a bit later in the video, I think, just so that I can really like dive in, but I have just felt like I've been moving towards burnout again, and I have so many different writing projects that I'm working on right now that I just don't feel the need to throw 50,000 words at a brand new writing project only without continuing working on the writing projects that are already on the go. That just like doesn't seem like the best idea, I guess. So that's what I'm going to avoid doing. First, I'm actually going to move like this little shelf into my bedroom. I've entirely shifted around my bedroom. And I'm just gonna move this little like shelf thing, and I'm just gonna sit on my floor and do some writing, but more so planning. I'm going to go through all of the projects that I currently have on the go. I'm gonna reorganize myself, and I'm kind of just going to figure out like where my priorities lie and what I need to start working on now, and like what point of each process I need to be focusing the most on. Thought that we would do a little get ready with me while I discuss NaNoWriMo and where I'm at with this whole situation. I haven't actually filmed a video in over a week now. The last video that I filmed was the poetry announcement video. If you missed that one, I am releasing a poetry collection in 4 days. The pre-order link for the ebook is currently live, and then on the 24th you'll be able to order the paperback. So I will leave a link for that down below if you're interested. And the reason that I haven't filmed a video in a week is because I haven't really had anything to film. I feel like I've been doing a lot of back and forth this week deciding how I want to continue with NaNoWriMo, if at all, just because I have kind of been heading towards burnout, and I was just like kind of trying to decide how to deal with it and if it would affect my NaNoWriMo project. So after a week or so of thinking it through and considering what I could do, I have decided to become a full-blown NaNoRebel, which I wasn't really doing at first because I was trying to stick to the one project and stick to drafting specifically. But I also just don't think that that's right for me or my projects right now. I just don't think that makes sense. Like, I have this poetry collection coming out. I'm also currently writing more poetry, and I'm working on Between the Waves. As you know, it was kind of at a bit of a standstill. And then there's also Project Geo, which I do want to be working on, but I kind of just needed to like take a second and consider where my priorities needed to lie, especially when I feel like I'm getting burnt out, because that means that I might need to like rearrange my priorities to make sure that I don't get burnt out. So we're gonna rebel. I'm still gonna track words, but it's from like 3 or 4 different projects at this point, which I'm totally okay with. Because of this kind of change of course when it comes to my writing projects at the moment, I am going to spend most of the day today. It's currently Monday, and I'm trying to do like less client work on Mondays and then kind of do more client work from Tuesday to Friday, just because I feel like that would probably be better for my mental health. And I just feel like that would make more sense for me right now. So today the plan for writing is to kind of reorganize all my projects. I want to go through all the projects that I currently have on the go. And I'm gonna like sit down and kind of do some like discovery journaling about each project and where I am in the process and where I think I'm going next, and just kind of try and like write through and think through some of the issues that I've been running into. And I'm going to do that for each of my projects. So I'm going to do that for Project Geo. I'm also going to do that for Between the Waves. And then I'm going to do that for the poetry that I'm currently working on. So I'm just going to sit down and try and write out my thoughts and my feelings and where I currently sit with all of those. So yeah, that's the plan as far as writing goes. And then beyond that, I kind of just want to make sure that I'm like taking care of myself and trying to keep my day balanced, which includes things like making sure I'm like stretching and getting in my exercise and eating regularly. Just little things like that that keep humans alive that sometimes we forget to do when we're stressed. I also, not to brag, have been making some very successful sourdough bread lately, and I do have some dough that's ready to be baked today, so you'll definitely see that because I'm proud of myself. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Before I finish getting dressed, I just wanted to talk to you quickly about the partner of this video, which is Dossier. So Dossier is a fragrance company that creates fragrances and scents for women and men, and unisex scents as well, that are all inspired by really popular luxury brands that are obviously marked up to be very, very expensive. But the lovely thing about Dossier is that they are so much more affordable, like anywhere from $30 to $50 or so, which is amazing, especially for the quality of the scents. They also have some really lovely ethical principles within their company, so the majority of their packaging, as well as the like bottles that the perfumes come in, are recyclable and environmentally friendly. They also have a really wonderful return policy, so if you order some scents and you end up not liking them, you can actually return them. And they don't throw them out, they actually donate them. So if you purchase a scent from them and you end up not liking the scent, or you don't think you're going to use it, you can just return it to them, and they don't throw out the returns either. They actually end up donating them, which is wonderful. So this scent is called Ambery Cedarwood, and it is inspired by a scent called Alien by Mugglers. This one smells absolutely lovely. It is going to be a gift for a friend. The second scent was also supposed to be a gift. That was the plan, at least. And then I smelled it, and I actually think that I will probably just be using this one for at least the next year or so. So it's actually not going anywhere. I've decided to keep it. This one is called Woody Sage, and it is inspired by a scent by Joe Malone that is called Wood Sage and Sea Salt. This smells so good. I feel like this scent kind of reminds me of where I live, which is in the Pacific Northwest, because I mean, wood sage and sea salt, I feel like that's generally the sense, but it does just like smell like the forest by the sea, which is generally the sense that I tend to go for. And I love it so much that I will not be gifting this one. This one is a Christmas gift to myself. If you've been considering trying them, or you have maybe some more gifts to grab before the holiday season, feel free to check them out. I will leave them linked down below. Thank you so much again to Dossier for partnering with me on this video. I'm going to spray a little bit of the Woody Sage, and then I'm gonna finish getting dressed. And then we're going to dive into some writing planning. Not necessarily writing yet. We need to organize ourselves. for a 10-kilometer run, which was, I don't know, I felt like going for a long run. I wasn't sure if I would actually do 10K, and then when I was doing it, everything was feeling great, and I feel like I really needed to get the energy out. As you all know, I've been very stressed. I've mentioned it before, but generally exercise, movement, even in like a very, very low capacity, like literally going for a walk around the block, can be just so helpful when I'm feeling burnt out, when I'm feeling stressed, when I have like nervous or anxious energy, or I'm like feeling restless, or even when I'm feeling tired. Like, exercise and movement for me is kind of a cure-all for most things. I'm trying to do it more often, and I am gradually getting back up to doing it as often as I used to when it was really, really helpful. I think it's just taken some time because I need to do it in a sustainable way. Like, I can't just jump into a bunch of exercise or I burn out that way. And it's really terrible for me to burn out with exercise because that is like such a good, healthy thing for me. So I just never want to overdo it and make it not a good, healthy thing. So yeah, I went for a 10-kilometer run. It was fantastic. Had such a good time. I'm gonna shower and probably do a bit of yoga, but then I'm gonna go through, you can see partial mess behind me. There's a lot more that you can't see. Basically, I decided to start going through a bunch of my old documents, and I've been doing a lot of like purging and decluttering and reorganizing my stuff again. And I have like piles upon piles of documents and notes and ideas and plot points and character development from Between the Waves in all of its stages over the past 2.5 years. So it's a lot of information, but I kind of want to sit and try and sort through a little bit of that tonight. And I'm also going to do some planning for another poetry collection that I'm working on. And I think I'm going to do that while I cook dinner, but that's where we're at. I'm also waiting for someone to come and buy a book that I'm selling, and they will be here soon. So let's get going. I'm not going to tell you how long it's been since the clip that you just watched, but it's been a while. Also, please ignore this injury. I was leaning down to pick something up, and on my way back up, I literally smacked my head on a table, so just ignore it. I wanted to do a little bit of a wrap up for NaNoWriMo because I never really did anything like that, and it's now into December already, and I have not given any sort of update besides what you just watched. So I had gone through all of my paperwork for all of my stories. Like, I went and I reorganized my writing folder on my computer. I went through every single planning document, manuscript, little notes and stuff that I had collected, scene cards. I went through all of that stuff for like all of the writing I had done, and I kind of organized it and put it all together. And I went through it a little bit, but as I mentioned, I was definitely burnt out just with all of the stuff that I was trying to do, so I didn't fully get through all of it. And I didn't add any more words to NaNoWriMo, even though what I did was very productive and it was what was necessary to continue on my writing projects, was to kind of take a break and also sort through all of the documents and notes and stuff that I had for those stories. That's what I needed to do, but it means that I didn't add any more words to NaNoWriMo. I definitely did not win, but I'm also, again, not upset just because every year I get a little bit better at listening to my body and my brain and understanding when I need to take a break. And every year I get a little bit better at honoring those feelings and actually allowing myself to take a break when I need one, which I just have to keep telling myself and believing that that's what's going to make the biggest difference in my process, in my creative process, is that the more I learn to listen to myself and actually honor my feelings of like needing rest, for example, the better my stories will get and the better my productivity around those creative projects will get. I just always have to remind myself, even though it feels kind of counterintuitive, but I always have to remember that taking rest is generally better for my stories and better for my productivity in the long run. So yeah, we didn't write any more words. We did a bunch of organization. I also finally published my poetry collection, which is available. I will leave it linked down below if you would like to purchase it. I would absolutely love that. And we do have next steps. I do know what I need to do next as far as my manuscripts go, and that involves rereading a whole bunch of stuff, which should be exciting, but I mean, I think that'll be nice because it's hibernation season. It's winter, which means all I want to do is like sit in bed with a candle and a coffee and read anyways. So that is where we're at. Once again, thank you to Dossier for partnering with me on this video. I will have them linked in the description box below so that you can check out their fragrances if you're interested in picking one up as a gift or just for yourself over the holidays. Again, I have been wearing the Woody Sage one. Obsessed. It's freaking fantastic. Very, very happy with it. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.